I was in the Blackpool Tranmere vlog. Oh, were you? Brilliant. Okay. Simon Hayes, I love Blackpool FC. So we're talking about the coronavirus and football. That's why you're all here.
Because we're not at football.
Yeah, because we're not at football. We don't know what to do with ourselves, so we thought we'd have a chat about it. We were on Falco Radio last night, and it was the topic on Falco's Radio, wasn't it? So we were kind of saying, well, the football's obviously been postponed until April. But why April? That's our first question, isn't it? Why April? Is it going to be any better in April, or do you think it's going to be worse?
I don't think it's going to be better in April. I think it's just giving the leagues and UEFA a chance to figure out what they're going to do, because from what our government was saying the other night, it's not going to peak over here until 10 to 14 weeks, which takes us to the end of June. So if it's going to get worse, then and there's no football now, why is there going to be any football in the meantime? It just doesn't make sense that there would be.
No.
Especially now players and coaches are coming down with it, and also obviously the issue with the fans coming into contact with each other as well, which there's football being played in the National League and non-league today, some of which will be getting some good crowds. I know there's a few Sunderland fans going to AFC Blackpool this afternoon. So they should have a bigger crowd than normal.
A few hellos here. We've got to say hello to Tangerine Dan One. Hello, Stephen Smart. Afternoon, Stephen. Yeah, we're both well. Hayden Cunningham says it's definitely going to get worse. Okay.
But no, we thought we'd try
Brexit
something.
boys on tour. Hello.
We thought we'd try this live stream today, just because not only to give us something to do on a Saturday afternoon, but also to keep connecting with you guys, really, because
He knows Hub. Hello, Hino.
Because you're in the same position as us. We've got nothing else to do, have we, at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon? So I think it's important that we all come together and we keep communicating, and we can and if we're going to be self-isolating in the coming weeks and months ahead, it's a nice opportunity if we can start doing this regularly on a Saturday and bring everyone together, and it's just a chance for us all to communicate and still come together on a Saturday afternoon. So.
Can you give me a thumbs up and a like if the sound is all right? If we sound okay, we're just checking the microphones are all right for you all, because we can't hear anything.
There's a few people in, isn't there?
There is.
Wow.
Tangerine's good run ruined. Well,
Tranmere's good run.
Tranmere's, yeah, Tranmere's good run. That's a shame for Tranmere, isn't it? I mean, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, are they going to just write off this year, do you think, or are people who are in the relegation zone going to be relegated? And what's going to happen to Liverpool's title, and what's going to happen to the Nobbers? That's what they're almost in the playoffs, so we're kind of laughing about that one, aren't we? Bolton's the other problem. I mean, are they going to get a 12-point deduction? Is that scrubbed, or will they get the 12-point deduction next season? Will the season start? Will the season start next season?
Well, I think going back to what they're saying, if this virus is going to peak in
There's
10
a
to 14
buzzing.
weeks.
There's a buzzing. That could be, I wonder. Let me just check something.
The charger.
Yeah. Has that stopped the buzzing? No. Let us know. Has that killed the buzz?
Kill the buzz. It's killed my conversation.
Has that stopped the buzzing? That's what we want to know. Has that stopped the buzzing?
So yeah, basically, if this virus is going to peak towards the end of June, then it's obviously that's going to be the top, and then it's going to come down, and then we need to be back to where we are now before the football's starting again. So I think potentially you're looking for 10 to 14 weeks after the end of June. So that's going to take us to September, October potentially before we can have any more football. So that has massive impacts on not only this season but obviously the Euros, and then going into next season as well. What's going to happen? What are people saying?
Quickly, I'll tell you some of the things. Hayden Cunningham saying he hoped not, because he believes he would have survived, which we kind of believe that as well. We thought Tranmere would definitely survive it. JJT1603 says, allow until November 2020 to finish this season. Do the Euros same time as Africa Cup of Nations in January, February next season. Run it from March to November. Then the World Cup in Qatar.
So does that effectively mean scrapping next season?
So hang on. So allow this season until November 2020 to finish.
Mm-hmm.
then do the Euros the same time as the Africa Cup of Nations in January, and then next season runs from March to November. And then the World Cup anyway.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
That's actually genius, JT 1603. We're impressed with that.
That is actually genius.
I don't know how you've come up with that idea, but that's brilliant. Yeah.
But then you've got a lot of issues. There's a lot of things to take into consideration, such as the players' contracts, which expire at the end of June. So how is that going to work? Because they're dated, loans and contracts end at a particular date. So that's potentially going to be an issue. That obviously the players are going to be being paid, but they're not playing, and then what happens when players are looking to get contracts elsewhere? If there isn't any football being played, are they going to be unemployed? Are people going to be signing them up?
Yeah, that's the issue.
Are they going to move the transfer window?
That's the issue with running the season through to November, because players' contracts finish in July. So the teams it'll be a different side. So that's
Armand Nangelay, for example.
Yeah, we might not have
contracts up at the end of June. Then he's free to go wherever he likes. So.
Ryan Dunbar says hi, and Lee and Jane. He's from Scotland. His Scottish team is Rangers, but he supports Blackpool through his love of Blackpool. It's the best decision he ever made. Well, we were born into it, so not sure if it was the best decision actually, but yeah, sometimes it's great watching Blackpool, but many times it's not.
Well, at least we're kind of used to not going to matches.
Will Hart is first in the championship on FIFA. That's very helpful, Will. That helps with everything that we're trying to figure out here about the coronavirus. We're happy that you're still first in the championship, so the coronavirus does not affect FIFA. That's one thing we do know.
Oh, yeah.
Peter Jones says the sound is fine. He needs to borrow my sunglasses, though. Yes, well, Jane's jumper is loud. Yes, it is.
It's actually Lee's jumper.
My jumper. She's stolen my jumper.
Wow.
Hayden's exams are going to stop. Yeah, that's an issue about the O levels.
Yeah, I was chatting to Ben about that actually at the radio show last night. That's how they're potentially going to be put back, aren't they? Because it's people together in a room, of course.
Olympic Games. Tangerine Dan. Sorry, we're just going through these now. I've lost you there, Tangerine Dan. Tangerine Dan, if Liverpool get the title, we deserve the 1939-40 season title and to be known as the true invincibles of that season with an excellent track record. Well, you've got a point there. Absolutely. If Liverpool get the title, then Blackpool should be awarded the title of 1939, shouldn't they?
39-40, definitely.
Yeah, 39-40 season. We were top of the league after 6 games, I do believe.
And who thought we had nothing to play for this season? But potentially we could get a league title out of this. So that would be magnificent.
Brexit Boys on Tour says it's going to have an impact on kids' weight because they're not going to do any sports.
Well,
everyone's going to get fatter.
Yeah.
We're all going to be sat there munching on sweets every day and not doing any exercise. That's good. That's a good point.
Well, we've already discussed that, haven't we? We're going to get out now the weather's a bit better. We can get out on our bikes and go for walks. And
Will Hart 7. What would you rather have? Oyston or the coronavirus?
That's unfair.
That's a tough one, that one. Yeah. I think we'll go for coronavirus on that, actually, to be honest. I just can't. Yeah, anything's better than Oystons. Hayden Cunningham doesn't like the idea of changing all the times. He thinks it will completely mess everything up. He just cut the season.
Yeah, I think interesting.
Replace the league with a Sabutio league, says Mick P. That's genius. So we just finish on Sabutio. that could work.
Yeah, have the managers doing the
the managers playing each other at Sabutio decides the game.
That's genius.
Yeah, better than a Pools panel, that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. What have we got? Stephen Smart. I think the Euros should be next year. Finish the season during the summer. Yeah,
I think realistically,
I think they're going to postpone it a year, aren't they? We're a little bit disappointed because we were going to. We were invited to go and film the Conifers, which is like all the small nations. It's their World Cup. So
the nations basically that aren't affiliated to FIFA, such as Jersey and South Ossetia, North Macedonia. Yeah,
Yorkshire, Isle of Man.
Yeah, we were planning a trip to North Macedonia to bring to you to watch this, and we were planning a land trip, weren't we?
We've got press.
Lee's not a big fan of flying,
no,
so
I'm
not. We were looking at potentially going on the train or on the road across Europe and bringing you our adventure and bringing you the stories of all these nations. But I mean, that isn't going to happen now. It's
No.
another knock-on effect of this virus. There's all sorts of things that we had planned for you, but we're just having to be, a little bit alternative now and try.
We're a bit sad about that, aren't we? Because we got press affiliation and everything. We could film all sorts, so it would have been great. And there's loads of African nations, and yeah, it just would have been amazing. So we're very disappointed about that.
But we're, it's important that we keep bringing you content, and we do want to do that, and this is something we just thought of this morning, isn't it, or last night to do this for you today. So
he knows. Hub says it's lucky for Pool because we probably weren't going anywhere this season. It's still a bit.
Well, no, our season's been over for
weeks
anyway,
for a while, but we do have that, the fact that the Nobbers are not going to make the Premier League, so that it kind of balances it all out, doesn't it?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I work with a Liverpool fan, and he was the one who gave me all the background on Neil Critchley that I put in my blog last week, and I've been speaking to him about. I mentioned about the league games being postponed, and we're talking about that. If it's unlikely to see more matches, and I said even if Liverpool do get awarded the Premier League, they're not going to have that moment, are they? They're not going to have that game, that goal, that magic moment. They were like, yes, we've done it now. It's just, even if they do win it, they've lost that. And I wish I hadn't said that to him, actually, because he looked very crestfallen.
Somebody's saying, his worry is, how does the financial crash affect Simon Sadler? I mean, that is a thing.
We were just discussing that, weren't we, just before we came on air?
Could be worth nothing, and then...
But we were also saying he must be regretting buying Blackpool Football Club, because not only have we had a disaster on the pitch, we've just missed out on our biggest payday with Sunderland today, and now we've got no matches. And
he must be regretting taking over Football Club. Soulful Aid says Jeff Stelling and the boys will have to take part-time jobs at Tesco's until resolved.
What's happened? Is that just off today?
Lee Howard thinks it's fair to null and void the season, even though it doesn't bother us. And hello.
I think realistically, that's the only way that they can't agree. They can't have promotion and relegation, because some teams have played more games than others, and I don't see that being fair. I think the only realistic way of doing it is to make the season null and void. Even though Karen Brady has argued it, and a lot of people are disagreeing with it because Karen Brady said it, and it just happens to suit West Ham because they're just above the relegation zone on goal difference at the moment.
Ryan Dunbar, he wasn't born into Blackpool, but he feels a strong love for Blackpool, and he had a choice of going to games or boycotting, and he didn't go. That's pretty good. Rockart 12,000 says, play the remaining games behind closed doors. If a team are unable to field a full 11 due to COVID-19, then why not ask fans to make up the numbers? Jane is a striker for Blackpool, little in the box. That could be interesting.
Gosh. I mean, I can't even see games being played behind closed doors is an option, really, because players are affected by this, coaches are affected by it. It's bringing people together at the end of the day, which in 4 weeks' time isn't going to be an option. And also, who's to say that clubs, couldn't say, well, actually, we're self-isolating because it's to their advantage to do so. It's a tricky one.
Here we are. Brexit boys on tour. They should make a coronavirus league for everyone with the virus, so that we can have some football. Excellent idea. If you got the virus, you can play.
The coronavirus. Don't suggest that to Sky. They probably would.
Yeah. We'll feel sorry for Sunderland because they bought tickets and the match got cancelled. So
well, they're all here partying, aren't they, in Blackpool this weekend?
Apparently, if you were watching AFC Blackpool, aren't they? There's quite a few going down to get some football at the non-league level, because AFC Fylde have got a game on today. Nick Muller says there's going to be a lot of refund away tickets and season tickets, which that's going to. I mean, there's so many clubs that are, struggling and on the brink, and I think this is going to kill. Quite a few clubs are going to really suffer with this.
I think that was another thing that Karen Brady said that got my teeth on edge a little bit this morning was that
John Thrower is here.
Oh, hi, John. Karen Brady said that she suspects that most clubs will survive. Well, most clubs isn't all clubs, is it? And I think, you're looking at your Oldhams and your Macclesfields, and there's a lot of clubs, I mean, all clubs are going to be less, Premier League clubs less so, because they're obviously, the gate receipts don't mean so much to them. But then, is the TV money going to be affected? There's so many ramifications, and there's so much money involved in football, and it's I can't see how they're going to resolve it, but they're going to have to.
JJT1603 says, greetings from Concarn. Yes, you know who it is now. 31 degrees outside and been dark for 4 hours and he needs a cold beer. So we know it's you, John Thrower.
You're safe from coronavirus over there, I believe, as well.
Oh,
it's
okay.
too hot for it to survive over there. So
Mick,
we might be coming over to join you. Is that invitation still open, John?
Go and visit John in Concarn. But he's going to be right back, so he might not be there yet. Mick P, I won't be asking for a refund on my season ticket. Need to support the owner. Things still have to be paid for.
Yeah, they should probably start. Well, they can't
Lee
even
Charles
start selling
in net and Jane Stewart up front for the pool.
Yay! I could be the little goal.
Oh, John's back. John's back. Yeah, Jane was saying, you know, the invite out to Thailand would be welcome. You're safe out there.
I'm not sure we could do that over land though, Lee.
Oh no, that's a problem. I might have to fly for that one. Nick Muller knows people who book train tickets but can't get refunds because the train was not cancelled.
Well, yeah, I mean that's been a problem with Peterborough anyway, hasn't it? I think a lot of people, the Yorkshire Seaside, certainly we were travelling down with them to Peterborough, weren't we, on the Saturday, and then that game got moved to the Sunday, so that was a mess anyway, even before all this. And I booked trains to Shrewsbury, which I was really looking forward to, and you know I won't be able to get my money back. Well, I probably will, but not all of it.
No.
Yeah, there's a hotel. I booked a hotel in Peterborough as well because we booked the trains for the Saturday, and then I tried to get on TripAdvisor yesterday, and that was down. I couldn't even get in to cancel my hotel. So whether that's deliberate or not, I don't know. But
Damien Coughlin from Michigan.
Hi, Damien.
Hi, Damien. We were talking about this last night on File Coast Radio, and obviously Damien listens in on File Coast
Damien
Radio.
is our listener.
He is our listener. Yeah. So nice to have you with us. We're just talking about the coronavirus and whether Liverpool should be awarded the title. Whether there should be any relegations, whether Leeds United are not going to get up out of the Championship.
And Preston aren't going to get up.
The Nobbers can't get up, which
shame.
is, that's a shame.
It's hilarious, isn't it?
But Bolton, they're going to escape relegation. Are they going to escape the 12-point deduction as well?
I don't think so. I mean, if they do make this season null and void, then they've got to start next season with a 12-point deduction. They've got to, or else they've got away with it, haven't they? And not that they've had a great season. To be honest,
come on over to Thailand.
Yeah. Excellent. Is there no coronavirus over there at all, John? I believe I was reading that the climate.
Kay Bristow is gutted that today's game couldn't be played. Would have been the best home atmosphere of the season by far, but at least all our players will be safe. Keep up the good work. Yes, yeah. I mean, obviously we want everybody to be safe. It's a really important thing, isn't it? The safety of the players, safety of the fans, and hopefully we'll just get through this coronavirus. But we are discussing at the moment how it's going to affect football financially. Whether it's talking about delaying the football till April, but why April? I mean, we're 4 weeks behind Italy, and Italy, well, we can see what's coming with Italy, can't we? It's on a complete and utter lockdown, so. I can't see it being any better in April.
I think it's just to give the authorities time to sort out what they're going to do, really, and get the clubs to agree, because the clubs are going to have to agree ultimately. And I think that's what that 4-week period is for. Yeah. Initially, but yeah, I can't see any games being played until maybe September, October time now. But the Bury situation's an interesting one as well, because they've been kicked out of the league because they couldn't fulfil the fixtures. But no one's going to be fulfilling the fixtures.
Yes, have they got a case to go to law to say that they should be reinstated at the start of the season? But
technically they haven't got a club anymore, have they? They're a new formation now, but maybe they could argue it and come back. That would be God. I think that's a decision the EFL could make that would actually we'd actually like them if they did that.
Oh, Wong Kong Tai from Singapore. Hi. Nice to see you. Is there anyone more desperate than me to see the West Lancashire derby? Well, that's the thing, isn't it? We need to get that Preston derby back.
We do. Oh, the Amazon man.
We have the toilet rolls are arriving, so we're just going to lose Jane for a little bit. I'm only kidding. We've ordered something. We ordered a new keyboard from the delivery man is here. What if all schools gets closed? What will the government do about it? Well, I mean, that's the problem, isn't it? If all the schools get cancelled, then parents can't work, and if there's nurses and doctors who can't work, then that's not going to help the NHS. So it's a big problem closing this, the schools. It really is. Although they do say that school children won't get it as bad as the elderly. So I don't know, but there is a mass hysteria going on at the moment. What's both of your views on the coronavirus? Do you believe what we are told by the media? Well, I was a few days ago. I was kind of thinking that they were scaring us a bit, But then now you're seeing what's going on in Italy, and you're seeing what's going on, obviously in China, and you can see it's coming in. I don't really know. I've listened to a lot of Radio 5 Live, and it seems that a lot of people have got to get this so we can build a herd of people who are,
Immune.
yeah, they sort of provide the barrier for everybody else. They're immune to it. Obviously, people had it will then be immune to it, and they will eventually form a barrier against it. But I don't think it's going to be good.
I suppose my concern is really we don't really understand what's going to happen to us and what's coming. How this is going to affect us physically. You don't really hear stories from people who've had it and come out the other side and say, well, look, this is what happened to me, and this is what the symptoms are. It's all a bit of a mystery. Are we just going to have a bit of a sniffle, or is it going to be will we safe from pneumonia because we're young and healthy, or I don't really. I don't really know what's going to happen. I think really more than actual what the physical impact is on the people, it's more the strain on the economy and the strain on the NHS that's the concern, I think, and businesses grinding to a halt. I think that's the main concern. I believe, rather than the
George Harvey, could we get as hello, George?
hi, George.
Could we get as bad as Italy? Well, I think we definitely can get as bad as
I think
Italy.
it's
It's gonna eventually be worse than Italy, because Italy is going to be getting worse. They reckon it's 14 weeks, do they, until it's probably going to hit a peak.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Italy haven't reached their peak yet, and we certainly haven't even started our peak. I
No.
suppose it's the old people mainly, isn't it? You've got to really be protected of. I think you'll be all right, George. If at your age. You'll be
Yeah, I
absolutely
think
fine.
children. There's
But grandmas
there's
and granddads, they're the ones you
no
need to
risk
look
really.
after on that, aren't they?
Yeah.
The only positive for the EFL being suspended is that Critchley can bond with the team and train and keep building on a positive
Are
football.
they going to be
And
able
the
to keep
players
training
and the
though?
players will run their socks off for a full 90 minutes. Well, maybe the fitness thing has been an issue all season, really, where there's only been able to really have a good half.
Yeah, I mean it is good that the coaching can continue as long as it can. I mean until the players are self-isolating or aren't allowed to come together anymore. The concern that I've had that I've been thinking about this morning is depression amongst the players, because if they're not able to play football and get together and see each other, and they're young men, they've got nothing else to do, it's going to be a big problem.
Dennis Hutch, thank you very much. Lee, have you considered a mask just for when you're on screen? Brilliant. Yes, I've considered that many times. Maybe I'll come in a big mask. Yeah. Thanks, Dennis. Yeah, block him. Tower Power believes it's man-made. Nick Muller's saying now that 3 people in Kingston have had it and got over it. So yeah, but have we heard from these people? That's the problem. I want to see somebody, actually have an interview with somebody that says, yes, I've had it and I've got over it, and it's nothing more than a sniff and a cough. But no, we're not hearing the people that survived.
Well, we can tell the story. We can tell our story.
We will when we get it, and we'll
if we're well enough.
we'll
You're not going
tell
to
you.
want to see us. You don't like looking at us now. You're not going to like looking at us when we're ill.
Ryan
I'm
Ryan
sure.
Mayer says apparently we're going on lockdown in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
That doesn't sound good, does it?
Well, we already kind of are. I'm working from home and I've got no football to go to, so I've got nowhere to go. I've got no life anymore. I'm not sitting on trains for 3 hours a day, and
No,
I'm not trying. I'm used to. I mean, to be honest, I'm a little bit relieved. I'm actually very pleased. I'm not going to have to go to Portsmouth overland 7 hours on the. Well, I mean, it's not been cancelled yet, but it will be, won't it?
Yeah.
7 hours on the coach there and 7 hours on the coach back, because I was going with Flybe, and Flybe have gone bump, so there was no flight. So I wasn't looking forward to that. So I'm kind of
Right.
relieved.
Nick Muller says some people make their money from football, fish and chip shops, and burger vans. What about them? Well, I think it's going to affect lots of people,
And
who are
pubs as well.
self-employed. I mean, it's not just football; it's just people in general. As people stop going out, as all the old deer stop going to the hairdressers are going to be affected. People are not going to go to pubs, working men clubs, nightclubs. They're just, everything's going to suffer, isn't it? On that, it's not just the burger vans at football. John Throw says, I've never heard of a person with a hangover getting coronavirus. You get my drift. So we just need to just get drunk every night and we'll be fine. Alcohol will save us, maybe.
Well, that's going against the government's advice, but then they also said to carry on playing football, and we're not doing that. So yeah, maybe that's the answer, I guess.
Tangerine Dan has got asthma and he's literally making a DIY corona lockdown system for himself if he gets it. On the plus side, no Robbie Savage, says Dennis Hutch. On the plus side, no Robbie Savage. There's 25 cases over in Michigan, Damien. So that's a lot.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear how America's reacting to this, because Donald Trump was sort of ignoring it for a little while, wasn't he? And then he's changed his mind, and we're just trying to imagine what happens. If he actually gets it, is he going to press the button on China? It's frightening, isn't it? Really, when you think how he might react. Wong
Kong Tai says droplets from sneezing and coughing can spread the virus. Wearing a mask will block the droplets. Okay, so I actually think that people will, you will start seeing more and more people wearing masks.
Yeah, I did notice that. I noticed someone on Preston Station actually wearing one the other morning. So it's becoming more. You see more people wearing them over here now, for sure.
Yeah, I actually saw a woman at Tesco's that had a mask on. I was good, and she said, no, she's got OPD,
COPD.
COPD, yeah. So she actually had a mask on for oxygen. I kind of said, you'll blend in more later on. I kind of said it was, but she was well protected from that.
What was concerning me actually at the Fleetwood match was the smoke bombs. I'm thinking, if people have got this virus and there's smoke bombs going off and they're finding it hard to breathe anyway, it's so that's, I guess, another argument for not having the football. If people are going to use those things, people have got to start thinking of other people now, and smoke bombs at football, it's really dangerous. So if there is football, please just don't take them.
I know it's hard to
dangerous.
Breathe. 100% NUFC. Hi, you just said that health and safety of people is more important than football. Football should be put aside for a bit. Well, we totally agree with that. What we're actually asking is, what's going to happen to football? What's going to happen to the titles? What's going to happen to relegation and promotion and teams like Bolton who are going to survive the drop? So will they be given a 12-point deduction? What's going to happen next season with new players? When will the season start? That sort of thing. But we're totally in agreement. Football has to stop, but we're just kind of discussing the implications.
It's important that we carry on talking about football, because it's who we are and it's part of our culture, and we missed it for so many years, didn't we? And we've got to keep the conversation going, just because football is still a thing. And
Tower Power loves my top. There we are. You see, you're a bit bright, but Tower Power loves the one game. This is my favourite Blackpool top actually of all time. It's just
I haven't got that one.
I love this. It was the anniversary top.
Yeah.
But Tom Ince was playing everything. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Tom Ince.
Didn't Arteta said he was feeling better already? I've not heard that. Have they interviewed Arteta? Because that would be really interesting to see how it was for him. Because that's great news, isn't it?
Footballer, isn't he? Though. So
do you think it will affect other sports? Absolutely.
It already has. I mean, the marathon's been put back.
The rugby.
The rugby, the
tennis, cycling,
the golf, the Masters.
Yeah, the golf, the Masters is being played. Has been cancelled. Has it been cancelled? Or has it just been played behind closed doors?
No, I think it's
not quite sure.
Oh yeah, there's a few actually. I was going to mention them on the radio last night, but I didn't get around to it. There's obviously all the football leagues. Yeah, the marathon's been put back to the 4th of October. The Formula One, they've delayed the start of that season. The Golf Masters, which is meant to be the 9th of April.
Oh.
Six Nations.
Goal Flash.
NBA basketball, ATP tennis. What's that? Goal Flash?
Goal Flash from Soulful Aid. Fylde are winning 1-0.
Wow.
Danny Philiskirk on 19 minutes. That's great news for Fylde, isn't it?
Yeah, that is.
That'll make Martin Curran very happy, because he's following Fylde on Fylde Coast Radio.
We should know who they're playing, really.
So the thing that Tangerine Dan hates about the media at the moment is that they're ignoring the fact that loads of people have recovered more than deaths. But he sees why they ignore it. But why are they ignoring the people that have recovered? If we start hearing from all the people that recovered, and say it was a bit of a sniffle, or I didn't feel too bad, it was just a bit of a cough, I had a cough for a while, we'd all relax, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Wouldn't have to go buy 98 toilet rolls.
Yeah, but would we all stop washing our hands? Is it, are they...
Yeah, but if it's not that bad, if it's not that bad, you wouldn't be panicking quite so much, would you? Can't get pasta or spaghetti.
As much as Fylde playing Aldershot Town today.
Oh, John doesn't like Wimbledon, so they can cancel that for him. All the sports in America have been cancelled. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the college sports as well.
Nick Muller's asking if this carries over, can we renew season tickets if games are not being played? That's the thing.
I think we'll get a discount on next season's, won't we?
Probably a discount. Yeah, I don't know how to do refunds. Well, you probably can't get in the ticket office, can you?
Well, no, it's shut for 2 weeks actually.
Yeah, but it's not going to open, is it? Nothing's going to open.
It's very crafty, actually. You can't go in for a refund for 2 weeks, can you?
100% NUFC. You think the season will come to its conclusion? The Euros will be pushed until 2021. The games will be Saturday, Sunday, and midweek to make up for lost time. The season will finish in mid-June.
Yeah, but it's they're saying it's going to peak. The virus is going to peak in mid-June, so I don't see how that can happen. I think the only way maybe they can conclude it is to play games behind closed doors. Yeah, I still can't see it's going to affect so many people. Were they saying 15% of the population when it peaks? So, it's effectively going to be players at every club, isn't it? So
I don't think there's any possibility that football will resume in April because
unless they send all the players to Thailand and play the games over there.
Yeah, play everything in Thailand. Play it on the island.
Maybe that's the answer.
Yeah, but
there's enough money in the game, isn't there?
But the trouble is, players got it already, and at clubs, this is the problem, isn't it? There's players already contracted it, and managers, and the Tiddlywinks Championship has also been cancelled.
Oh, this is terrible news.
This is disastrous.
Yeah.
Do you think it will affect YouTube?
I've had something from Google or somebody this morning saying that some systems are going to be affected, but I don't know. No, well, I mean, all businesses are going to be affected ultimately, aren't they? So.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is that pools panel. You could have it all done by pools panel. I don't know whether they can do every result of pools panel, can they? I mean, it's a bit harsh. We just get I mean, obviously that's on the pools panel. I just have Preston losing every game and Blackpool winning every game until we get actually in the playoffs at the end of the season, and then we'll win them.
So we could actually get promoted and win the 1939-40 league title.
Yes, if I was running the pools panel, we'd win every game to the end of the season, and then we'd win the playoffs.
Not over,
then we'd win at Wembley, and we'd be promoted if I was running the pools panel. That's pretty fair. Thoughts on no football for April? Well, I don't think there's going to be any football. Realistically, this is just the beginning. It's not the end, and it's only going to get bigger, and it's only going to get worse. We've seen what's going on in Italy, and they're 4 weeks ahead of us apparently. So they're shutting the country down. Well, in 4 weeks' time, I can see us shutting down things even more. And there's no way that football's going to be resumed in April. It's just it's not going to happen. In fact, I don't think it's going to be resumed at all this season. In fact, my worry is, will it start next season? Where will we be in August? Well, because there's players out of contract at the end of June, beginning of July. It's just a very, very, very big mess. And where will people be? Will they just scrub all the results this season and just start again next season, which is a tragedy for
Liverpool.
For Liverpool, for Leeds United, who've been trying for endless years to get back in the Premier League. They're at the top of the league. For Preston North End, as we said before, it's great news for us, but bad news for them. Tranmere Rovers, who were amazing at Bloomfield Road in the week, and you'd think that they will get out of the relegation zone, but I don't know. It's just a big mess, and we need some good hands. We need some good ideas. That's what we're looking for. People who've got good ideas on how we can solve the mess.
But then you've got your knock-on effects as well for Sky, for example. I mean, people subscribe to Sky to watch the football. There's no football. Are people going to carry on subscribing to Sky? I mean, arguably, people are going to be spending more time indoors, so we'll be watching more TV, but they're not going to pay for the sports subscription if there's no sports, are they? So is that going to impact on Sky? And then are they going to be able to afford to pay the football sponsorship? And then does all the money, is this the answer to, unwinding all the ridiculous money in football? Is this the start of the crash of that? Is everything going to change? Is this going to be the tipping point for football financially? Is it going to go back to to how it was before the Premier League and Sky got involved in the first place? It's fascinating, really. But then obviously you've got Amazon Prime involved now, so Amazon are not going to be suffering from this, are they, really? Because people are going to be watching that more, so arguably they'd be making more money. But I think potentially for Sky, I mean, this is it's dangerous territory for Sky.
Hayden Cunningham, as Tranmere Rovers, says he thinks the league's against him, but I think he'll be fine because I don't think he'll be going down. I just think it'll be scrap, so I think he'll be absolutely all right. And the good thing is you're going to have time to get that pitch ready for next season.
Oh gosh, yes.
So that's good for you,
That's
Tranmere.
yeah, big
take it.
positive.
You've got a big break now. You can get that pitch sorted out and have your beautiful pitch that you always had at Tranmere for next season.
Oh God, it used to be beautiful.
Because that's definitely affected your results this season. It's just shocking. I don't know how you play football on it, to be honest, because I say we played that one game. Obviously we played at Tranmere, and the ball was sticking in the mud. It was terrible. It was awful.
No, it used to be. I used to love going to Tranmere because the pitch was, it was like a snooker table. It was beautiful, and it was just really, it was a big shock to me to see what it was like this season. And really, but then arguably Tranmere aren't going to have the money to invest in relaying the pitch because they haven't got the income from the football, and it's terrible, really. The ramifications of this is, things that we haven't even thought about.
Well, Jane was saying that somebody's mentioned here it's going to affect Sky Sports and BT Sports massively.
Big time.
And it is. It's going to cut because most, a lot of people subscribe to Sky, based on the football.
Subscriptions now, because what's the point?
What about all the pubs that pay thousands for Sky TV?
There's pubs are going to go bust through this, and undoubtedly people aren't going out. It's going to be terrible for the pub industry. But I've forgotten about that. The knock-on impact of that on Sky as well.
Emily Salthouse, hello Emily. She says, what do you think will happen with loan players? Well, if the season's cancelled, then they'll just go back.
Well, the loan runs from a date to a particular date, so when that date expires, the loan expires. We don't have those players anymore. So
no. Which is a shame because we were really starting to like watching them, weren't we?
It's terrible for Blackpool because literally that second half against Tranmere was, you could actually see it finally clicking into place for the first time this season, and then it's kind of left us on, even though we lost, it's sort of like
we came out really happy because we watched some fantastic football, and that's going to be the last fantastic football we see.
But it leaves us on with a little bit of hope.
It leaves us with hope, yes, and that's a good thing about it.
But we were just saying, poor old Simon Sadler, he's just invested all this money in the infrastructure of the club and spent all this money on a new manager, paying off Larry and get this new manager in. And now there's no football, there's no income, and poor guy.
Peter Jordan's mentioned that it's bad news for Evo and Barrow if the National League is to be cancelled. That is a shame.
Well, arguably though, but also Bury have gone, so we're a club short. Remember, so there is going to have to be a club that comes up to make up the numbers. They might be brought up,
Barrow. So. They may well get promoted. Rockart 12,000 says, for the immediate future, instead of doing our match vlog, can Jane do a sort of real ale style pub crawl and review the pub cuisine and the chocolate orange bar vlogs instead?
What is this now? Well, I'm self-isolating. If I'm self-isolating, how can I do that? But I do have plans afoot actually, because I'll still be eating and I'll still be drinking. So there are some plans afoot to certainly to
stay tuned for vlogs about dogs and food and beer.
Yeah, for sure. But unfortunately, I'm not sure going to pubs is going to be an option for much longer.
Tangerine Dan one is going to be watching Sunderland Till I Die season 2 on Netflix when it's out. So.
We thought about watching that, but I think we don't really want to be reminded of Larry anymore.
No, we don't remind of Larry at all.
It's sale.
Stujam Bolton, as a Coventry fan and promotion in sight, the loss of championship revenue next year would kill the club. But now there you are. You see, that's a shame, isn't it? Because it's looking very good for Coventry. You really are playing well, and if you don't get promoted, no, it's well, we've already said this. It's going to affect lots of clubs. Not just the Coventrys. There's lots of clubs that are really on the edge, and without the revenue.
Well, the insurance situation is going to be interesting, isn't it? Because, a club's going to be insured against this sort of thing.
I don't know. Honestly...
The insurers aren't going to want to pay out, are they? I mean, they'll go bust themselves, won't they? Paying everybody out as a result of this.
Ryan Dunbar, as a Blackpool resident, how do I think this will affect the tourism for the local economy?
Oh, gosh.
I think it's going to be disastrous.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely.
If they shut the Pleasure Beach. Which
people are not going to be going on holiday. It's as simple as that. I mean, we're already suffering... the holiday trade is now just basically because you can't take your children out of school at any other time than the holidays. The Blackpool summer season really starts in the middle of July and runs through to the end of August, and we're not always guaranteed good weather at that time. And that's really our summer season. Then we've got the illuminations, and people are not going to, be wanting to visit things like the Tower and the
But that
Coral
said,
Island. And
people aren't able to go overseas. A friend of mine's just travelled to Malta, just flown out to Malta and been quarantined on arrival for 14 days. And it wasn't told about it by the airline before he got there, and now so people are going to be frightened to go overseas, I think, for a long time. So, that could have a positive effect potentially on Blackpool, because if people can't go overseas but want a holiday, want to come to the beach, then, we're still here. You can still go to the beach, can't you?
yeah,
Even
yeah,
if the tower's closed and the pleasure beach is closed, which they aren't, by the way, but if it comes to that, people can still go to the beach.
yeah, they
I'm
can
still
go to the
planning on
beach.
going, we're planning on cycling down to the beach and, walking along the beach. It's,
Yeah, you're
you
actually
need
all
that,
right in
I
the
think.
open air, aren't you? With it, I think. I
Yeah.
think that's the thing. So yeah, so
So
maybe
potentially, it
making
might,
sandcastles on the beach is the option for your summer holidays this year.
yeah,
So you never
maybe.
know, we might have millions here. It's the only place to go.
Yeah, because people are still going to be able to travel within the country, I think, aren't they? I don't think. I'm not really sure what's going on in Italy with that. But how's your battery power there?
Is
Five
it is it
percent.
going down?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
gonna have to put the buzzing.
You have to
I'm
put
afraid,
a bit
guys.
pause, yeah, because
It's either that or we get cut off. So.
yeah, we're just unfortunately got a buzz on.
But yeah, I was reading today that
There'll be a little bit of a buzz. Sorry about that, folks.
apparently another option is to have some playoffs now to decide promotions and relegations. So quite sure how that would work, but it's playing fewer games to get things resolved. So that could be interesting if that happened. But there's so many teams, potentially, making the playoffs that I'm not sure how.
Right,
That
just
would
reading
work,
through a few more now. Blackpool lads asking what about the Euros? What's going to happen then? Well, I'm pretty sure the Euros are going to be put off this year. I don't think they're going to
You wait
happen.
for a meeting on Tuesday. I
Yeah,
expect that they will
I
announce
think
that
they will
on
be delayed
Tuesday.
for a year.
But it's also the women's Euros next
Nick
year.
Muller is saying, will they stop people moving around the country? Well, that could well happen, couldn't
Well,
it?
I think they did have in Italy, because it was just in one particular area, wasn't it, in the north to start with. I think they blocked off particular, as I understand it, they blocked off particular areas and according to particular areas. But I think here that's not the case, is it? Because it's there aren't particular areas where it's going to be. I think it's just going to be everywhere. So I can't really see.
William
how they can restrict
Edmondson
movement.
is saying, assuming the virus peaks by mid-April, it's possible that football could be back and the season finished by the end of June, especially as the Euros are postponed till 2021. That seems likely.
But they don't want it to peak, do they? They're encouraging it to. If you saw the Boris Johnson's statement and the medical officers the other night, they're trying to change the peak from from that shape to sort of more like that shape. So they're pushing it back. So because of the strain on the NHS, if it peaked and everyone got it now, if everyone went out and intermingled and we all got it now to get it out of the way, then the NHS just wouldn't be able to cope. So they're trying to push it out, as I understand
far as
it.
possible.
So just
Well, they
so
want to get it out
peaks,
to the summer months, don't they?
Yeah, so it peaks when there's less pressure on the NHS.
Yeah, and also the virus is going to struggle in the summer more than it is now. So that's the other thing, isn't it?
Yeah. But it, of course, in doing that, it affects the football, because if it does peak in June, then we're going to be, if you look out 10 to 14 weeks after it peaks, which takes us back to where we are now, you're looking at September, October. So I can't see there being any football until September, October if it goes as they've. And then you've got to have your pre-season before the season starts. So
hashtag Corona out from Tangerine down the wall. That's
definitely.
Hashtag Corona out. Yes.
I'm sure they're working on that.
Ryan Dunbar is saying the local papers up here are saying no football till August. So I'm pretty sure that that's going to be. I think he may not even make it for August, if I'm being honest. I think that's ambitious. Father and son away days are saying, how about doing a non-league vlog? What do you think to AFC file possible relegation? Well, we've tried a number of things. Jane did a video on Chase Town, and we didn't get a lot of views on it. So I don't know if there's the appetite for us to go and do a non-league vlog. We'd be interested in doing it, but we're not quite sure if people would watch it.
We also did toy with the. I mean, it was a little bit late in the day. We did toy with the idea of doing this from AFC Blackpool today, but with it being the first time of doing this, we just wanted to make sure everything was right, really, without having an extra pressure of doing it outdoors. But and also we don't know how long the football is going to be played, even at that level. So,
No.
but yeah, potentially it's something we could look at for LCTV at 3 next week.
Yeah, we could maybe do an outside, an outside one of these, an outside broadcast. Could
And
be quite...
LCTV OB at 3.
Yeah, that's maybe. If you guys are interested in that sort of thing, just
we could
post
go
your
on location
comments
while
down.
we're still allowed out.
Yeah.
We need to be, I want to try and get out of the house sort of as much as I can while I can, really. So even if it's just, just walking.
So maybe we will pop along to a non-league game next week and do this from there. The internet may go down too.
Oh God, can you imagine? No, that couldn't happen.
Oh, hello, Chris. Chris Heaney's just said, can you imagine if this had happened with the dreadful family still in charge, the club would have gone under for sure. Yes, I think it definitely would. Yes, absolutely.
No,
Emily's on the same thread. Imagine if we still had the Oystons. Yeah. Sean Thelfall, hi guys, really love the videos. Thank you very much. Glad to thank you very much. By the way, if any of you, watching this haven't subscribed yet, to click that little button down there and subscribe. We need as many subscribers as we can get, and also click that notification bell because that'll, will notify you of things like this that we do.
Yeah, every time a video comes out or a live stream comes out, you'll get a notification. So it's a good thing to do. So you keep on top of what we're doing.
George agrees with you, Jane, about pre-season. Will it? What Jane said about pre-season, will it happen? What do you think? What do you think about pre-season? Will there be any pre-season games?
Well, there's going to have to be a pre-season because the players are going to have to get back up to fitness if they haven't played for months. So, that's going to push back the start of the season potentially even further, isn't it? So.
Edna Mansfield's posted, you know him. Hailey and Jane from here in Telford. It's a pity that league games have been cancelled as he was looking forward to going to Shrewsbury.
I was as well, yeah. I was definitely looking forward to that. I got my trains booked. I was going to do a pub map and go around all the pubs before the match and everything. It was going to be a great day out.
Oh, gutted no one has asked where Tigger is.
Nice. Oh, he is. He's around, isn't he?
Yeah, let's see. Should we get him?
Yeah, let's get him.
See ya. Here he is. Yeah. We'll just bring him in. So there we are.
If you have to be really, really eagle-eyed, but if you can look just there, Forky's there as well from Toy Story 4. I'll be able to see him. He's just there in the background too.
So yeah.
So we've gone off topic a little bit there.
Yeah.
But of course, there's also, the FA Cup hasn't come to a conclusion yet, or the Champions League, or the Europa League. So what do you think about that, Tigger?
You said, what was the question?
The FA Cup, the Champions League, the Europa League. That how do you think they're going to resolve those? They've got to come to a conclusion, haven't they?
He doesn't think the FA Cup's going to go ahead, and he's pretty sure the Champions League is going to suffer the same fate. There won't be any Champions League final this season.
So much money and so much sponsorship, though. It's it's the ramifications are massive. But I guess everyone.
Tigger's immune. Yes, Tigger is definitely.
Tigger is immune, actually. Well, are you sure?
Yeah, he's definitely immune. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. He could be hosting the show in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes, if you come on the show and there's just Tigger here, we're all dead.
I'm not gonna die. We're not gonna die. We're just gonna be.
Do you think anarchy will be on our streets from Tower Power? Well,
no, I don't think people will be too ill, won't they?
Well, they're not. There's a lot more people recover from it than actually, suffer with it. So.
I like to think people come together in times like that.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I think it's you like your war spirit, isn't it?
Let's have a read of that. Yeah. Software read the Oystons. They weren't spending money anyway, so not much would have changed. So yes, I suppose it would have just remained the same under the Oystons, wouldn't it? Just spend nothing. So. Bolton's the one that annoys me really because they've had this 12-point reduction. They're definitely going down, and they're just going to survive it. Are they going to get a 12-point deduction again? Would that be fair?
They have to. They do have to. If this season's declared null and void, they absolutely have to. Else they've got away with it completely, haven't they? I know they've had a horrible season, and their fans are just heartbroken, but they can't get away with it.
Wilkie's Vlog says, do you think we will go up next season? Well,
Yes.
I thought we were going to go up this season, if I'm being honest. I was very disappointed.
That was before it started, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, before it started, and then we kind of got slowly but surely disillusioned on that.
Yeah.
Especially, well, no, even at Christmas, I was still thinking very positively just before Christmas. It was looking very, very good, but yes, I think we could well get promotion
it's Red.
Next season. It's who?
Hi, Red.
Oh, hi, Red. Really need to finish this season, even if it means playing 2 games a week behind closed doors. Scrub the cups, internationals in Europe for this season to make time.
But Europe's where the money is, so that's the last thing they're going to scrap, I would imagine.
That's the only problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's your favourite pool player?
See, I love Sully Kaikai. I just haven't seen him for months. He really excited me. He really did. No one else has done that to me. What he did this season, he was just, with his corners, with his free kicks, when he got the ball, he's just breathtaking. It's just, I mean, I don't know what's going on with him. Whether he is injured, whether he fell out with Larry, what the issue is or was. But I don't even know what his contract situation is. If we got him next season, maybe.
No.
When we finally get started playing football again, maybe he'll be back, and that would be great. It'll give him time to recover. Who's your favourite player?
Well, I'm really Armand, if I'm being honest. Probably Armand Angela is my favourite player.
I'll see him again.
Yeah, we're not going to see him again. I just think he has that. There's something about him. I know he gets a lot of stick, but there's just something about him, the confidence of him and everything.
I love his confidence. The way he can just miss an overhead kick or Panenka a penalty and just bounce back and just carry on I do not care.
Tower Power's saying if the shops are shut and there's no food, it could cause anarchy.
I don't think there's going to be.
Get to that level.
Well, we need to keep an eye on what Italy are doing.
Really, say goodbye to Tigger. Goodbye, everybody. We're just going to put him down back in the box down there.
I think we're not going to run out of food. I don't think. But I think the supermarkets are still open in Italy, aren't they? They're one of the things that are still open, and the cafes, I believe, were still open as well. But you've got to sit a metre apart or something. So.
Could this be a Bolton conspiracy, says Christopher? It could well be.
It's very dramatic.
I mean, they didn't want to lose Bolton in the EFL. They've done everything to make sure they kind of got away with everything. And it could be a Bolton conspiracy, Christopher.
It's an interesting theory.
Nick Muller says, will the population go up? All those couples stuck in for 2 weeks could happen plus no sport.
Well, we were discussing this at work yesterday, actually. I think there's possibly going to be a baby boom, but I think there's also going to be a boom in divorces if people are stuck in the house together for months on end, so it swings and roundabouts, isn't it, really?
Emily, wait, do you reckon Armand won't be here next season? Well,
his contract's up in the
summer,
isn't
up,
it?
so he definitely will be leaving, and they haven't.
Well, unless he signs, I mean, maybe if Critch likes him, maybe he will persuade him. Now we're playing better football, maybe he will stay. But he left 2 summers ago, I believe, to go and join a club in South Africa, I think. But he had to come back because they'd gone over their international player quota. And we said, oh, well, we'll have you back then. But he wanted to leave he did leave 2 years ago, so he hasn't signed a new contract. I know things have been a bit, crap on the pitch. Maybe he will change his mind. But I hope he does, because without him, we're woefully lacking up front, aren't we? But
we are woefully
we'll sort that out by the time.
Not all will come good. Damien Coughlin says the grocery stores are crazy here in the States. Well, we're having a little bit over here already with pasta. Just you can't get pasta if you go to Asda try and get toilet rolls. You haven't got a prayer getting any toilet rolls.
There's no pasta, but there's plenty of pasta sauces on the shelf. So I don't know what people are eating their pasta with.
Yeah, that's a thing, isn't it? Paracetamols are going. Oh, we haven't got so many paracetamols.
So for some businesses, I guess it's good if you're manufacturing toilet roll and paracetamols, and
21 deaths in the UK now.
21, wow.
The 10 who died were in the 70s and 80s. That's the latest on Sky News. So we're up to 21 deaths, but only 10 of them are elderly. So hopefully it's people with underlying health problems, as they keep saying. But I just wonder how all these people with underlying health problems keep getting in touch with people with the virus. They'll be staying in.
I wonder how many people have got the virus there. It's more than we think. We might
is this a fact, Tangerine Dan one, that Armand loves his Notrianis? So I think he'll stay.
Oh, that's all.
That'd be good news, wouldn't it? If
be, yeah.
Nutrianis keeps almond at Blackpool.
Oh, we've got to keep Nostrianis open,
That's
haven't
a
we?
great advert for Nutrianis, isn't it? Chris Heaney Nuttall will come good. Yes, yes.
Who is writing your script? It's Tigger.
Yes. He will come good.
Yeah.
He will. Don't believe the media. Thoughts on Swansea? We don't really know much about Swansea. Just explain again all these vlogs about Swansea. You've got some good players on loan. Is that what you're saying? Where are Swansea in
That
the
was
league?
another club that used to have an amazing pitch every time I went there. I don't know. Was your pitch still good down there? That was. Tranmere and Swansea were always my favourite. My favourite pitches. They were outstanding. I love going to Swansea.
Tin food is going, says Nick Mulley. He works in a supermarket, and tin food is getting very. I went into Aston. They had loads of Belvita breakfast bars for £1. You know, those little boxes of Belvita. So I thought I can live on them for a few months if I have to, because I bought 10 of them, 10 boxes of Belvita breakfast.
You'll get bored of them, won't you?
No, I'll just eat those. Okay, I can live on anything if I have to. If I have to live on Belvitas, I will.
We'll be fishing in the sea for fish, won't we?
Yeah, fishing off.
Mind you, do they start from fish? Fish or bats? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Tangerine Dan is saying he's got to check on his grandma every day for an hour just in case. I mean, it is, you know, for the elder ones, for elderly parents and grandparents, it's very important that they stay safe.
Yeah.
Very important, isn't it? They're the ones that are going to suffer the most, as we're seeing. I don't think every old person is going to die from it. I don't think it's
No,
like
it's
100%.
interesting. I was actually reading something earlier on. It was saying it's not the fact that the old people are more likely to die from it. It's the fact when in the hospitals when they're under pressure and they're prioritising who they treat. You know, if someone's over 85, then they're less likely to get prioritised for treatment than someone who's potentially got more years ahead of them. That's what I read earlier. So if the NHS is under pressure and they can only treat so many people, and that's potentially why the older people with underlying health conditions are the ones that aren't surviving this, sadly.
Ollie's vlog says he wants our thoughts on Swansea's players. To be honest, Ollie, I haven't got a clue on
We've
Swansea.
only just learned who Blackpool's players
Yeah,
are, to be
we
honest.
don't really have a clue on Swansea at all. It's we haven't played them. They're not in our division, so.
But we do like your fans. I always remember walking out when we beaten you 6-3, was
applauding.
it? And we were walking back to the station, and all the Swansea fans were there waiting for us outside the pubs, and we're like, oh bloody hell, are they gonna jump on us as we were walking past? And they just gave us a guard of honour because we played that well.
Yeah,
and
we did.
That's my main memory of Swansea. It's wonderful. That was really, really special.
I've been to Swansea. It's
That was under Simon Grayson.
It's lovely, Swansea as well. I really liked it. I was working down there a long time ago, and it's very busy with the university and everything. It's a beautiful place. Yeah. What are the longest away trips you've travelled to, Jane? Is it Plymouth?
No, it's actually Latvia.
Latvia?
Yeah, for pre-season friendlies when Valerie Belacon was our president, we played 3 seasons, 3 pre-season friendlies, 3 years. We went over there pre-season, so we played in Riga and in Majori, up on the beach on the north coast, and then across. We were actually discussing it last night. We went to Ventspils the one time, which was wonderful, which involved a flight to Riga and then I think a 4-hour coach journey on really rickety roads, if you can call them roads, across to the west coast of Latvia. That's the furthest I've ever been. It was idyllic. It was wonderful, and I've been to Scotland and Isle of Man and Northern Ireland, watching Blackpool as well. In this, without being overseas. I mean, Scotland. I've been to Dundee and Glasgow, Inverness. Had a week in Inverness pre-season the one time. So I've done some miles, but they're the best ones. I mean, not too many people go on the pre-season friendlies, but I mean, hopefully more will when the season finally begins, because we won't into football for so long. Hopefully more people will get to enjoy the pre-season friendlies next season, because they really are such good fun, and you get to know who the players are and see them before everybody else, and you get the camaraderie between the fans, because there's not so many of you there. And the first time we went to Latvia, there were 13 of us, and we were just watching this match in a field on the outskirts of Riga, and Valerie Belacon was there and just said, oh, do you want to come to my brewery? And we just got in this big people carrier, these 13 Blackpool fans, and we just went off with this Valerie Bellicon and his minder, like he had a gun in his in a holster. And we were just like trusting these guys and just getting in a people carrier that they could be taking us anywhere. We saw a sign for Estonia, like, oh gosh, are we? Where are they taking us? We weren't planning on going to Estonia. We just thought we were going to this brewery, and they took us to the Kimmel Brewery and showed us round and gave us beer, and there was a big buffet spread for us at the end, and it was wonderful. They really are special, the pre-season friends. So,
yeah, well, we enjoyed Barrow this year, didn't we? We interviewed Ian Everton.
Great.
It was a great day. In fact, we did all the pre-season, didn't we? You even did Longridge as well.
Yeah, that was my first away day.
Yeah, that's James' first away day.
Probably
Yeah,
pretty terrible if you look back at it now.
Which, for a first time was really good.
Got a pie in there. And a dog. Oh, yeah.
Right, let's have a look. We've got some questions here. Let's see if we can get through them all. Do you think the football season will be scrapped this season? Yes, we do. Yep. Yes, we absolutely do. What are our views on Major League Soccer? Is it popular over here? No.
Don't know anything about it.
We don't know anything about it. And
think David Beckham's got a team over there?
It's not popular. But we know the Americans are getting better at football because of it.
I think more people watch American football, don't they?
We are fans of American football, but not particularly soccer league. Tower Power, what's your best league match of all time, excluding playoffs and finals? His is Darlington away, and I would have to agree with you. That night was unbelievable with Sam Ellis, Tangerine Army. The fact we got, we won that game at Darlington's. I think it was 4-0, wasn't it? Eamon O'Keefe scored, and the Pool fans were just, we didn't go, and we weren't going to go until Sam Ellis came back out of the changing rooms to acknowledge the fans, and of course it was just a magical night. I'll never forget it. Never ever forget it. It was unbelievable.
That was just before I started going, so that was before my time. I mean, that Swansea game that I mentioned, that 6-3 was pretty unbelievable, really. I don't know. It's hard to pick one, really. There's been so many over the years, and the playoff game at Forest was very special, if that counts as a league game.
Christopher Healy says if people keep on clearing out supermarket shelves, the government could well introduce rationing, as in wartime.
Gosh, that's a thought.
That could well happen because it is getting
Well, I mean, it's not going to go on for that long, is it? You wouldn't have thought. Again, we need to look at what they're doing.
Didn't games used to get decided on coin toss if they couldn't get played? Well, that would be I can't see that. I think there'll be some legal. I think there could be some legal hassle with that. What's the best away games you've been to? Says Wilkie Blogs. There's that many, isn't there, really?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's all about the day. There's some great places. I was looking forward to going to Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury's always good. Donny, I love going Donny. We loved that this season, didn't we? They were so lovely as well as Donny being an ace place. They're the really
rudest fans you ever met. Well,
fans.
Not really fans. I don't think you really meet rude fans, but we have met some rather. Fans. No, we've met some.
Burnley always used to sort of throw things at us when we used to go out.
Well, obviously, the local derbies, Preston in particular, probably. And Burnley, like you say.
There's a few Blackpool fans who are quite rude, to be honest.
We just found this season, if you're going on this season, Rotherham was our favourite away trip, wasn't it? They were the most miserable
did not
bunch.
Like Rotherham at all. But that wasn't really the fans. We didn't engage.
No, that was the stewards stewards, and the fact that when you got to the ground, it was like entering Stalag 19. It was really.
And they wouldn't let me pet the sniffer dog.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was a horrible day. We didn't enjoy it, which was the polar opposite. To Doncaster, who were absolutely, just a few miles away, and they were the friendliest stewards. They had a fan zone where you probably saw on the video where we had the little penalty shootout and everything. They were just fabulous. But Rotherham, don't bother going there. Just don't. It's awful. Just don't go. Boycott it next season.
I'll have to go. You're going with me.
Well, actually, we'll do a video next season on Rotherham. We'll show you all the horrible places in Rotherham, because honestly, there really is horrible places. And there's that the old abandoned stadium. You actually pass it. It's like a ghost stadium.
It's always been grim, Rotherham.
Oh, it's awful. It's really awful.
We could do a contrast. We could do like.
Will the league stay as they are? Well, that's the question we're asking. Will Liverpool get the title? Will Leeds go up? But there'd be so much I don't know. There's teams that are like on the border of the playoffs who must be thinking they've got a chance of the playoffs, and there's loads of of computations and things that could happen, and I don't know if they can just award it and just leave it as it is. Do the teams get relegated? Do Tranmere get relegated even though they look like they're going to get out of it? They're playing really well because they're in the relegation zone. Would that be fair? I really don't know on that one. I just think there'd be lawsuits if that happened, if they just said that wherever you are, you're promoted.
I think the only fair thing to do.
And what about
is
the
to
playoffs?
stop it.
What about the playoffs? All the teams in the playoffs, how would they award that? The top team in the playoffs would get it, maybe just automatically.
Mark Porter says, "Do you miss the Lancashire derbies with Burnley?" I do.
Yeah, of course we do.
I think the Burnley fans perhaps have evolved a little bit, maybe since we used to play them. I actually don't mind Burnley so much now. I mean, maybe because they're at a distance and I haven't been there for a while. But I think Burnley got to the Premier League, and then we looked at what they did. Hang on, if they can do it, we can do it. And they sort of inspired us, I think. We did it the year after Burnley did it for the first time.
But then, unfortunately, we had the Oystons who didn't want to do it ever again. They didn't want to spend any money for it. And we admire Burnley, to be honest. I mean, you've done amazing. You don't spend any money, so you're going to be probably the richest club in the world one day, because you just, honestly, Burnley, I can't see them ever.
And there's some great pubs in Burnley as well.
What's the highest transfer fee for Burnley? What's the most expensive player Burnley have bought so far? Is it like 200,000 or something? I don't know. You don't spend much in Burnley, do they? They're tight. So I think they're running it absolutely perfectly, not spending loads of money.
But the question was, do we miss Burnley? I wouldn't.
Yes.
It's so hard to say as I miss Burnley. I don't think. Much as I don't miss Preston.
We never did very well at Burnley, did we? It wasn't our favourite ground for going to. We normally got beat at Burnley, so probably no, we don't miss them really. To be fair,
I miss the places that I like going to. So I miss Doncaster.
I miss the excitement of a derby game, though, a proper derby game. I mean, we had Fleetwood, and it just it's not. No. It's not a derby game.
It didn't even feel like an away day.
No,
it's just down the road to Fleetwood.
It's like playing South Shore or something.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It's not. It's just Blackpool playing Blackpool B team or something. It's not a derby. It doesn't feel like a derby, but we do definitely miss the derby games. But we normally lose, especially at Burnley. We do. I've been to Burnley loads of times. What's that song they play at Burnley when they score? What's the song? I've heard it loads of times. It's horrible.
Maxwell or Anik? I love Chris Maxwell. I just think he's fantastic. He's the best keeper. I mean, I've been saying he's the best keeper since Joe Hart at Blackpool. I think he's superb. He's cat-like. He's wonderful. I didn't dislike Anik, but Chris Maxwell's a different level for me. What do you think? Yeah,
he's superb. He's absolutely brilliant. Although I didn't mind Anik either. I thought he was a good goalkeeper. I thought he was a great goalkeeper. And but Maxwell just has this sort of.
He's next level, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's really awake and aware and on his toes all the time. And his reactions are very quick. You know that goal he saved against, was it? It was Ipswich, wasn't he? When he went down and he got the ball really quick, and it was incredible. Very quick reactions. Oh, somebody's writing in. Oh, we can't read Chinese.
I don't know what's going on there. But there was another question up there.
No KFC in Rotherham. That's the worst thing.
Oh,
well, that makes it even worse.
Is it dangerous travelling away to Deepdale? Any violence? Dangerous travel anywhere at the moment. Deepdale, I don't.
Best ground I've been to.
I don't know. I think everything's just very well policed, and I mean, if you want to avoid trouble, I think you can do anywhere. In my time following Blackpool, which has been, how long now? 30 years nearly. I've seen trouble once, and that was because that was at Rochdale of all places. Just because I went in the pub right by the ground that I probably shouldn't have gone in after the game. I wouldn't normally have done that. It was just I happened to do that. That's the only trouble I've ever seen in 30 years of watching Blackpool.
It used to be.
If you're not looking for it, or if you're just minding your own business, I think you can avoid it anywhere. To be honest,
there used to be a lot of trouble in the 70s going to Deepdale. There's a lot of trouble. In fact, that season where Blackpool went up and they won at Preston 3-0 with a Fred Pickering hat-trick, there was loads of trouble, loads. I talked to friends of my dad's, and there was one time where before the game there was some Blackpool fans being chased. There was about 100 Blackpool fans and about 500 Preston fans chasing them, and they ran into the street, and coming down the street was like 20,000 Blackpool fans, and all the Preston fans just turned round. But there was loads of stories of trouble back then. But those days
That was
have
the 70s,
mainly
wasn't it?
gone now. You don't see that sort of trouble now. There probably is trouble, but it's never at the ground anymore, is it? They've kind of stopped it there. I don't know why I don't know why you keep posting in Chinese, because I can't understand a word of that. So if you can post in English, that would be, I will answer you. Uh, who's your football heroes, and have you met them? Well, yeah, really my main football hero at the time was Eamon O'Keefe, and I've done an interview with him, and he was really I idolised him in the 80s. Charlie Adam, David Vaughan, even maybe. In fact, all of the Premier League team, I just loved him from Gilks onwards, really. My dad, I would have said, Tony Green, and obviously Stan Morty for my dad would have been his hero. I mean, like Matthews, but Morty was probably every Blackpool fan of that generation would prefer Morty over Matthews.
I'm not sure I'd say I really have any footballing heroes. I mean, I guess when I first started going, when I was an impressionable teenager, I loved Alan Wright. He was, I absolutely adored him. I thought he was superb. So I guess he was a hero because I'd sort of looked up to players when I was young. Now there's players that I enjoy watching. Martin Bullock I absolutely adored. I really did. Maybe it's just a short person thing. Maybe it's I feel a bit of an affiliation to fellow short people. Maybe. I don't know. Lately, I don't know really, because it's we haven't really been back watching Blackpool long enough to have heroes. Really, we're just getting to know who the players are, and
that was the
been
struggle
playing very
at first.
well.
No one knew who they were, really, wasn't it?
It was. That took us until about Christmas to know who everyone was.
Robert Swales is saying there's a possibility that no team is relegated and Leeds and West Brom go up, and the following season 5 teams are relegated from the Premiership. Yeah. But what's going to happen then with the Championship and League One and League Two and non-league? You can't just do that. If you take up the teams out of the Championship, then that's going to reduce the teams in the Championship.
Well, I think if the season's going to be starting later next season, then potentially you're going to be looking at playing less games anyway. So that's going to have to even itself out somehow. I don't know. Do you split the leagues down into sort of more divisions, but fewer teams in each division? Maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe that's an option.
Well, they might not be able to. If there is fewer teams in the division, then it might be a short season anyway, mightn't it? That might work.
It's going to have to be a short.
Yeah.
Potentially. If this
Burnley's highest price is 16.9 million,
which
which is quite. I imagine that was really hard getting those wallets open for 16.9 million in Burnley, but yeah, I mean that's low compared to a lot of Premier League clubs, isn't it? I'm sure
it's a lot of money though.
It is a lot of money. Yeah, it's an incredible amount of money.
So it'd be interesting to see how the fallout of this affects money in football, whether these top prices come down to something a bit more realistic now.
All this Chinese stuff I can't. Sorry, he keeps writing Chinese. Oh, he's back.
Favourite game when we were in the Prem, asks Emily. Ooh. Well, I mean the Liverpool games were pretty amazing, weren't they? Doing the double over Liverpool. Bizarrely, I quite liked away at Arsenal, and I think we lost 6-0, but we just didn't stop singing throughout the whole game, and we had padded seats down there in the new stadium as well. Gosh, everything, that was just amazing. It was a weird season because it didn't sink in for me that we'd actually got promoted. I mean, even though I went to all the games and I went to Wembley to see us promoted into the Premier League, it didn't sink in because it just seemed such a bizarre thing to have happened that it didn't sink in to me that we got promoted to the Premier League until the October. So it was just, I was going along to all these games. And Wigan, that was my favourite game, that we won 4-0 away, first game of the season. But it was just so bizarre and so surreal. It was like, this isn't really happening. It took till October, after we'd won Anfield as well, for it to sink in that we actually were in the Premier League. It was bonkers. But it was the best trip, wasn't it? What was tickling you there?
Somebody says there's a person posting all the Chinese messages, a Preston fan. Could well be. Tangerine Dancing, if I play FIFA, then he's got a question for me. It needs an answer. Why doesn't Matthews have an icon card for Ultimate Team? And he's the first Ballon d'Or winner and one of the best in the game. Well, I don't play FIFA, but Sebi, my youngest, plays FIFA. And he has mentioned that Matthews doesn't have an icon card, which is bizarre, but they don't really see Blackpool as a club on FIFA, do they? You know, all those icons are all like Pelés and Dalglish and all that sort of, the stars of the Premier League, and I don't think they really go back as far as 1953, which is a shame. Maybe you should post that to FIFA. They may well remedy it. I'm sure if there was a market for a Stanley Matthews icon card, they would sell it. Mickey says Darlington away is still his favourite game. Do you remember the little stand we had down the side in the middle of the rest of the terrace? Great night. Well, I'll tell you a funny story about that little stand, actually, because I went with my dad the following season to Darlington, and we were in that little stand, and they said to everybody, don't sit too near the back, because there was these beams that actually came across. And they said, because if you score and jump up, you'll hit these beams, because they were quite low to where you sit. So we sat to the left of a beam. My dad was to the left of a beam. And second half, we were kicking to the right that way, and we scored. But as you go to the right, then we all jumped up, and my dad hit this beam, and it just like took like half the skin off his nose.
Oh,
He was pouring with blood and everything. It was an absolute, honestly. It was funny after, but at the time it was so bad.
It's a goal celebration injury and a half.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, honestly, he just hit it bang on. It was like above his head, and so yes, I do actually remember that little stand very well. And yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, he always had a scar on his nose from that, but honestly, blood and everything. It was horrific.
Tower Power's asking, has Chasetown been cancelled, Jane? No, Chase are actually at home to Worktop. They're 2-0 down at the moment, I believe. So they've been doing quite well lately.
Okay. So the Chinese, right? Okay. I see. So we just ignore the. I see the Chinese now. Yeah. So ignore the Chinese. Look at the proper question. I think the season will restart and no promotions and relegations. That seems like the only fair way. I can't really see there being promotions and relegations. But then is there going to be lawsuits? This is what is there going to be lawsuits because teams like Leeds United, who battle for years and years and years to get back in the Premier League, they're at the top of the league, and they're going to be gutted, aren't they, if they don't get promoted? So what's going to happen there? Has Chasetown been cancelled, Jane? No, it hasn't, has it?
No. So I was just saying that they're 2-0 down at the moment, but no. Hopefully they've got a good crowd. I'm not sure, but I know Walsall were encouraging their fans to go to Chasetown, and obviously with there being no local games, I know a lot of Stoke fans and Villa fans and Blues fans will hopefully be going down to Chasetown today. So hopefully they've got a bit of money in the kitty from that today, because they deserve it. They're a cracking little club.
Ryan Barton sits very close to us in the south, and every time Blackpool concede, I always see Jane shaking her head. It always makes him laugh. Why does it make you laugh? Poor Jane. You should come and say hello if you sit close to us, Ryan. We'll get you on in a video if you want to. You can come and give us your half-time thoughts. Come over and see us. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be less head shaking when we're
I'm surprised you didn't say you haven't seen Jane swearing when Blackpool score, because she's normally swearing on the videos. You can hear her. Have to cut it out.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah, it is. It was very. It's normally for feather's sake, isn't it? Normally, it's something like that.
I still gone Chinese. I don't understand.
I don't know why we're getting Chinese.
Everything's being translated into Chinese. I don't know.
Have we done something?
No. I think it's the same person. I think posting, isn't it? It's that minion there.
Yeah. Well, no, we don't understand this Chinese thing. But anyway.
Used to see Jane on some of those early morning club coaches in the 90s, I think. Yeah, that was when I was living up in Blackpool, so that would have been probably 96 to 98 when I was travelling to away games from Blackpool. Yeah, those.
This from our Chinese friend Lee. Remember, Blackpool could have been 3-0 up at Bloomfield Road against us.
Who's us?
Yeah, who is us? Because we don't know. We can't quite follow that, so I don't know on that one. If you can tell us who you are, We could have been 3-0 up against quite a few teams this season. His name is Chinese. Okay, his name is... Oh, that's his name. Is that your name?
I don't know.
Wow. That's a great name. Anyway, his name is Chinese. Zach Taylor, you're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed the videos. That's
Yeah, it's
that's
nice
fabulous
nice to see
news.
so many of you here today, actually. We didn't know how many people were going to turn up, did
We're
we?
going to give it 10 more minutes because it's 4:21. So 10 more minutes on this. So if you've got any other questions or any ideas of what is going to happen with the football while the coronavirus gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and do you think it's fair that Liverpool get the title now? Should Liverpool just be awarded it? I mean, Jane was saying that even if they get awarded it, they won't get that magic moment of winning it. They won't get that goal, or they won't have that memory of when they actually won the title, which kind of just takes a little bit of the edge off it, doesn't it? You thought?
Yeah. But they've had a great season, haven't they? So they do deserve
mascot
something.
for Blackpool at Bristol Rovers when we lost 4-0.
Bristol Rovers and lost 4-0. When was that?
Bruce Lee.
I don't really understand what's happening.
Do you remember the 2010 final against Cardiff? Yes, absolutely. Remember it, everything about it. It was absolutely, the clock never moved. I kept looking at the clock. I'd look at the clock, it was 60 minutes gone, and 10 minutes later I'd look at the clock and it was 62 minutes gone, and quarter of an hour after that it was 63 minutes gone. It just never moved. It was, honestly, it was the longest game of my life. Whereas West Ham...
Need to come to the Bloomfield pub before the game. It's my second home. Well, now I did used to like the Bloomfield pub, and of course they stuck the fanzine in there for me, for which I'm very grateful. But I went in last week and they didn't have any real ale on. It was just lagers they got on. So I'm not quite sure whether they've had a change of direction in there. But no, the food's very good. I've eaten in there a few times. But yeah, I might pop in before a game again. It's see how it's getting on.
What
it's,
should...
normally selling fanzines or something before the game, so if you haven't bought one, by the way, I am doing I'm scared plugging while I can, as we've only got 10 minutes left. I do the Blackpool fanzine. I am going to do an issue 5, which was going to be on sale next month. Obviously I won't be able to sell it outside the ground,
so you'll be able to
because
order it online.
I will, but there'll be no one there. No. But you can subscribe for a hard copy, or you can read it online as well. Yeah. So we can put the link in, can't we?
What do we think they should do with the East? Well, they're going to redevelop the East. 100% they are. I've seen things on that at the club, but it's not the immediate priority, because the immediate priority is the training ground, and that they will be doing first. But there is plans definitely in place to do the East stand, but obviously it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter too much at the moment, because at the moment we're not filling the ground. So I would imagine if we get promotion, they'll be looking into it. But the first thing they're going to build is the training ground, for sure. But they will redevelop the East.
What position do you think we need the most? Definitely.
You said that, didn't you?
Definitely centre forward, because we've only got Armand, haven't we? Really, Medine doesn't seem particularly mobile, or he doesn't seem to be the goal machine that we've built him up to be. Nuttall seems to have issues.
That's a good question.
And
all these vlogs, are we going for the Football Content Awards? Well, this is something that we're going to post something about. There's a thing called the Football Content Awards, and there is an award for the best new football vlogging channel. There is an award for that for this year, which we will qualify for. So we need nominating for that. We will actually leave links down below, probably under this video, if you want to nominate us. However, we're not sure even if it's going to be on.
Yeah, we've got tickets for the awards, which is supposed to be at Tottenham's new ground. We're really looking forward to going. Got tickets for that. We're going to have a little tour of the ground and go to the awards towards the end of May. But I mean, obviously, it's looking like that's potentially not going to happen now. But hopefully, the awards will still be awarded in one way or another, and it's certainly it's something that we'd love you to vote for us.
We can probably play a bit of extra time, can we? We're still not at the end of the match, are we? We're filling in on match day, so the match isn't over till 5.
Okay.
So we can stay maybe a little bit longer if you want to stay. If you guys want to stay a bit longer. Martin Armstrong has said something that Jane was mentioning. He thinks Karen Brady's a bit cheeky, saying the season should be null and void because they're in the Hammers are in a precarious position, and they really are. Aren't? You know, she's been a bit selfish there, hasn't she? And what did you think?
Well, I don't know. I think realistically, it probably is what's going to happen, isn't it? So just because it's coming from her mouth, I think that people are saying, "Oh yeah, well, it's just because But obviously, if her club's in a different position, she probably wouldn't have said it. But
she'd been going to win the league.
I'm just going to nip to the loo. I did miss a filed goal last time I did this, so
okay.
maybe there'll be another goal while I'm gone.
What position do? Yes, do I think Simon Sadler is in it for the long haul? Yeah, I mean, everything that's going on at Bloomfield Road at the moment, behind the scenes, the club shop, the training ground, the people that he's brought in, the experience he's brought in, the fact that he's changed the manager, the plans of the training ground and everything else. I think Simon Sadler's definitely in it for the long term. I'm thinking he's probably thinking at the moment, why did I get involved with this? Because he's had a bit of a nightmare first season really with Simon Grayson not losing him crowds, and then obviously he's just brought in a new manager and the football season's over. So he must be thinking, well, what have I done? He might as well have kept Grayson, hadn't he, if it sorted it out later. Are you disappointed? Emily Salthouse asks, are you disappointed with this season? Because obviously we've not done as well as we wanted in the league, but it'll be looking much more positive. I am disappointed in this season. Yeah, I really thought that we were riding on the crest of a wave at the start of the season. There was a massive feel-good factor in the town. The Bristol Rovers game, there was like 12,000 there, and the football just knocked the stuffing out of the attendances, and I think it's been a very disappointing season. Yeah, and I think a lot of that's down to the way that Simon Grayson has set up his teams and the way we've played and the way he seems to have fallen out behind the scenes with players, and I just think it's been a very disappointing season. Yeah, I was hoping for promotion, but having said that, with the coronavirus, it's irrelevant anyway, really, at the end of the day, because I don't think anybody's going to get promotion. So. Chinese is coming over. It's coming over everybody's post, so I don't even know who's post.
No, I don't know what's happening. So it went pear-shaped off the Coventry comeback. Yeah, it did. Definitely did. You said that, didn't you? You blamed me actually for looking at the league table because we were top of the league, were we, at one point? No.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, the Coventry game was just ridiculous, really, because we were 2-0 up with like 5 minutes to go to half time. We'd gone in, like Jane did send me the live table, and we were top of the league at that time. And of course, we let in 2 stupid goals, ridiculously on half time. And then we went down to 10 men because we made 3 substitutions, and the fans had to go off with 7 minutes to go, and we lost the game. And I think it did set us back an awful lot. I also thought the Bolton game away was crazy because we would have gone top of the league then as well, and we were playing a Bolton team that had just got itself together. They'd only, they signed 9 players about 10 days before who didn't even know each other, and we went with this really, we went with the idea not to lose the game, to get a draw if we can. We had 2 attacks basically the whole game, and I thought that was a really missed opportunity, the Bolton game.
Awful
yeah, I thought it was the first time we saw that Simon Grayson was just so negative. I would have gone to smash Bolton. I would have gone thinking, these players, they don't know each other. They haven't even had a pre-season. Let's just go and smash them. We're top of the league. If it had been the other way around, and we'd have been Bolton, and they'd have been Blackpool, and we'd have been in their position, just bringing in 9 players, and Bolton had been going for top of the league, I would have been absolutely guaranteed that we were going to lose and be hoping we didn't get smashed 5-0.
Someone's saying, do you think Liam Feeney brings enough to the team, or is it time for him to move on? I think, I think our new manager, he's promised to develop players, hasn't he? I think Liam Feeney, arguably he's been a bit of a one-trick pony, but he's fantastic at whipping that ball in. The only issue, he's got the most assists in the division, I believe.
Yeah,
but the only issue is he just seems to hit them I don't know whether he doesn't look where he's hitting them. He just whips them across and hopes someone's there. But obviously, the way we've been playing, we haven't got anybody in there. We haven't got that goal poacher to get on the end of them. So I think
he gets the balls in, doesn't he?
There's
I mean,
work
he gets
to be done there. He
in.
needs to be directing them to somebody, but also somebody needs to be there. And so there's all and there's more can be developed. All around the team really. So I definitely wouldn't be looking to for him to move on, certainly, because he's very good at getting the balls in, but he just needs to develop that, and the team needs to to work around it and make sure they're on the end of those balls, because he's getting a lot of assists as it is, more by luck than judgment really. I think because Angele's just there because he's big, he's on the end of them sometimes.
Well, he just gets that many, and the thing is with football, you never got, if Liam Feeney puts in 15 crosses in a match, you're not going to win 15-0. There's no way everyone's going to be on somebody's head. It's not possible. I mean, you could probably say that David Beckham missed hundreds of free kicks, but we all remember the free kick, that he did do, and he's remembered for that. But you could probably say, should David Beckham take all the free kicks? Because he probably, 90% of them didn't go where they wanted them to go, but Liam Feeney gets great crosses in, so yeah, I think I'd definitely keep Liam Feeney. I think he's a great player.
Do you think Larry lost the respect to the players?
Yes,
I think
yes, he did. Yes, 100% we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And I've heard plenty of stories from around the ground. There's been fallouts with players, and I just think it was just unfortunately Larry Mark II wasn't quite as good as Larry Mark I as we remember. I think he was troubled with his time at Sunderland. I think he was a bit harmed by all that, and I don't think he was the same manager the second time around.
But I think he had that rapport with the players the first time, because he definitely should have worn a hat. I couldn't get my head around the fact that he didn't wear a hat. I mean, he must have been so cold. I can't get over that. But yeah, I mean, remember when he was manager the first time, he was player manager, wasn't he? And he knew the players because he'd been playing with them, so he would have had that bond with those players, and potentially that's why it worked so well. But I think when he came back this time, there was that distance in terms of age and bonding, and obviously he'd been away and come back, and it just didn't seem to work. And he didn't bond with the fans either. No. I don't know what was going on there really.
That's one of my big bugbears here. Somebody's talking about dead ball specialists, and I think that's been the worst thing of Blackpool this season.
Well, Kai though, he took the corners and the free kicks, didn't he?
He did, and we've missed Kai, but after that we waste, honestly, corners.
Oh yeah, pretty bad.
Half the time I just think I'm just not going to bother even recording a corner, because we never score from them, although we did against Bolton, didn't we? And free kicks, apart from Kai's, would that be the only free kick we scored from? We just waste endless dead balls. So
should all games have no fans in the ground, says George. Well, it's not so much the fans, is it? It's the players. You've got to protect the players as well. So if they're coming in close contact with each other, it's
it's whether you'll get the teams to play, isn't it? But I do agree that you probably could do it behind closed doors if the teams. Well, if they all agree to it, if they all agree to playing behind closed doors, we could conclude the season that way. We'll all watch it on iFollow. I think the club already sent a message out to season ticket holders that if we are playing behind closed doors, we can all watch it on iFollow for free. So I would imagine that would be a thing countrywide.
I don't see that happening, because I think if clubs don't want to play matches because it doesn't suit them, if clubs that want the season to be null and void, like West Ham for example, will they just say, oh well, we're self-isolating, we've got I'm not sure it's workable. Zach Taylor asked, will Simon invest in new players for next season? Well, yeah, absolutely. He's going to have to, isn't he? Because we've got a lot of loan players, and
it's going to be nobody here.
If Arman's off at the end of his contract, then that leaves us.
Gary Medina, Nuttall, which is.
And if we're losing the two magicians in midfield as well, then
it's a shame to see them go back, right?
Yeah.
We've got a song for we just got a new song as well, haven't we, for Kieran Dewsbury Hall?
But then we're not going to have any money, are we? Because no clubs are going to have any money.
What is that buzzing? Games. It's the.
We can take it out now.
I think we can take that out. We can get rid of that buzzing for you. That will cure the buzzing. It's just we didn't have much battery left on that camera, so we had it plugged in. So that should cure the buzzing.
Did you go to the games during the last few seasons of the Oyster era? No, I mean I stopped going. I can't remember what season it was. I started going. It was when they brought in the 2-year season tickets. I bought a 2-year season ticket, and I think I went to two matches on that season ticket, and it wasn't particularly because I was boycotting. It just became horrible. The atmosphere became horrible.
It was the worst buy ever. That wasn't that 2 years. The Riga Revolution.
Well, they did it deliberately, didn't they, to get the money in because they knew what they were going to do, and it was just I don't know, very very unpleasant times. But it got to the stage where I went to. We were still going to a few away games. I remember I went to Leeds, and I was sat in the stand at Leeds, and I was just looking around me. I was just thinking, I don't know. I just don't know who these players are. I don't know. I just don't want to be here. This isn't my Blackpool. This isn't my team. This isn't my club anymore. And I remember going down at half time. And I remembered, we'd had that wonderful, was it 5-0 win at Leeds not so long before, and I went down at half time, and I'm like, I don't want to go back up. I don't want to go back up. And I was with my friend, and he said, well, if you don't go back up, I'm not going back up. And I'm like, well, you've come, you want to watch the game, don't stay down here because of me. And I really, really didn't want to go back up and watch the rest of that game, and I did, for my friend, but I was sat there and I was just crying. I'm like, I don't want to be here. And that's not what football should be. And I still carried on going to the odd away game, just at grounds that I hadn't been to tick them off. So Crawley and Stevenage and Newport. But I didn't stay for the whole game. I don't think on any of those occasions. I just literally went to tick off the ground and didn't want to be there. Wasn't interested. Wasn't connected with the players. Didn't have. I was just trying to distance myself from the club really, and the pain of what was happening. But came back with a big homecoming, and haven't looked back really.
More positively, what is our best game of the season so far?
Southend away definitely was amazing. It was. I thought we were going to win the league after seeing that. We just wiped them away and didn't realise it was just it's just a Southend thing, wasn't it?
It was amazing. The best game for me, because I didn't go to that game, the best game for me was Peterborough at home. Peterborough at home was amazing. We played unbelievable that day, and they were just not going to lose it, were they? You said that they're going to, they're going to win this, and they did. I mean, the Fleetwood game at home was pretty good as well. That was pretty special. Obviously marred by the crowd invasion and stuff, but yeah, Peterborough for me, I would say.
Joey Barton said on Radio Lancs that Medina's on £7,000 a week. Is he really? Honestly, well, we don't know about that, do we?
No, we don't know. We've no knowledge.
It's a good gig if he is.
If he is on £7,000 a week, but then again, we got him on a free.
I can't believe he's on that much. That does seem a lot of money.
He might be on £7,000 a week, but some of his wages may be supported by Cardiff.
Reed Jane's away days, have there been many this season that you really had to drag yourself to? Yes, most of them this year. Rotherham, actually, I didn't want to go to Rotherham. I think it started, it did start with Rotherham.
You didn't tell me Rotherham was that bad, actually, before we went.
Rotherham was the first one that I really didn't want to go to, and I think most of them after that I haven't wanted to go to. I mean, Portsmouth, absolutely, resolutely, I was desperate not to go to Portsmouth, to be honest.
No, you were okay. Jane was okay because she was going to fly down, which had made it all. It was going to be a really exciting video. Actually, we were quite excited about the. We're going to do a flying video, which would have been pretty cool. But
then Flyby went bum.
Flyby have gone bust, so then it was going back down to a 14-hour.
14 hours on the coach.
Yeah,
which I mean that would have been. I mean it's not going to happen now in all likelihood, is it? But I mean that. I was dreading that. I was absolutely dreading that. That would have been the worst.
Joey Barton is going to prison.
Is his court case yet?
I don't know about whether or not he is. I don't know about that one. He could be in trouble for it. He could certainly get a big fine for it. I don't think he'll be going to prison.
Seems to be ages ago now.
He'll probably end up like Cantona, getting some sort of community service, maybe. Because Cantona got community service, but they used him for community services to go around doing a lot of like voluntary work with clubs, teaching football and stuff. So it was actually quite a good thing, really, in the end for Cantona. He didn't go painting park benches. He just went, taking underprivileged children on football courses and stuff, and I'm sure Joey Barton will be used in a similar sort of way with community service. I doubt he will go to prison. Terence, all right, we're doing a great job. Thank you very much. Hope you subscribed. And if any of you are watching this, you're not subscribed, just click on the little subscribe button. We do appreciate it. It'd be great.
We're having a Chinese tonight. That's a thought.
Well, we're getting a lot of Chinese on here. We can't read any of it, but there's a heck of a lot of Chinese in these comments. But yeah, it's actually making us think of a Chinese. We could go for a Chinese. We like a nice Chinese.
We do like a nice Chinese. We found a good Chinese.
We have
actually,
found,
haven't we?
on Harriside, it's really good, and it's excellent. Yeah, so we've enjoyed that. We've had a few not so good Chineses, haven't we? So that was nice to find, and found a good few chippies for Jane.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't. What did we have? No, we went to McDonald's last night, didn't we? We didn't go to the chippy.
We had to get a quick tea after the radio show last night because we were meeting somebody in town. So we had a McDonald's, which was okay, but you never really like. Although I do like McDonald's breakfast more than I do like McDonald's burgers. Worst player in our Premier League season? Oh well, well, the guys on loan, the guys we signed in January. What were they called? The guy that went to Nottingham Forest, the fat one that became very good
The
after.
fat one.
Yeah, he was way overweight, wasn't he? The little fat one.
Oh, the one they were talking about on the podcast.
Yeah, he was.
No,
he was hopeless. But
I've
can't
wiped them
remember
from
his
my mind,
name.
to be
And
honest.
that there was a striker as well that was garbage, wasn't he? I can't remember. It was all the signings in January were all garbage. They didn't do anything to the team. Kingston was a nightmare, to be honest, wasn't he? He was, there's a lot of rumours that we could have got Shea Given on loan to the end of the season, and I think if we'd have done that and not had Kingston, I don't think we'd have let that goal in at Blackburn Rovers from the long kick, which was actually our corner. But even so, he let that one in, and and that would have kept us up. Just that goal, and I can't believe we didn't get an emergency goalkeeper in. So the one I could definitely remember is Kingston as being the bad one, but it was the
Fylde is still 1-0 up at home to all the shots.
Yeah, Kingston. Where's the best fish and chip shop in Blackpool? Well,
there's a few that I like. I used to really like Yorkshire Fisheries. That was always my favourite. But the last couple of times I've been over the last year or so, the chips have been a little bit dry. But I mean, it is still very good, and it's up there as one of the best. I like the Saddle Chippy next to the Saddle Pub because they do fantastic battered haggis. And the gravy is very good.
The cottage chippy used to be very, very good, but I've not been there for a while. We've tried Harriside chippy, and we had a great one the first time.
Yeah.
The fish was
really meaty.
Fish was meaty, yeah. You get meaty fish, not watery fish. I really like that. But the second time we had it, it was a little bit overcooked, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we went at the wrong time.
It'd been like in the heater thing for too long. It was kind of gone really, really overcooked.
But there's a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna try one.
Reed, that's it. Reed. Reed, yes, he was terrible for us, and yet he was brilliant for Nottingham Forest.
That one Puncheon. Oh, Jason Puncheon.
Oh no, Jason Puncheon was great. No, I like Jason Puncheon. No, it was.
Sea Fresh is another.
Puncheon was good, yeah.
In Blackpool, they have the what did they have the battered mushy.
What was the striker called? We signed two strikers. We signed a guy from like a foreign guy. He was garbage, and what was the other striker called that was like famous, but he was on
Grabovac.
Oh, Grabovac. Was it Grabovac?
I don't know what season he was. He's just a name I remember.
Seniors in staining. I've never tried it.
I think you should wear an older kit next time. Maybe the Vox one or the Harry Feeney 80s kit retro style. I've got loads. I've kept all the shirts that I've ever had.
I still got that awful. You still got the awful one, haven't you? The worst. The worst kit.
Which one's that?
The worst kit ever. The terrible.
The Bass.
Yeah, the
Bass. No, I never had that. Was the season before I started coming. It was the Bass one. So seniors in staining. Where is staining? I don't even know where staining is.
No, it's kind of near the hospital and out towards Polson. It's in between the hospital and Polson.
Maybe we could try that one.
Cornelenko.
Yeah,
and James Beattie. Yes, that's
James Beattie.
Thank you very much. He was at Ollie's Vlogs. Thank you. Yes, Cornelenko, unbelievable. Where we got him from, he was garbage, and James Beattie was just
it never quite worked.
It was awful. So. Yeah. Nick Muller's getting hungry thinking about fish and chips. Yeah, we are as well.
Who would you like Blackpool to sign next year? Just a prolific goal hanger, really.
Well, what about Ryan Hardy? He's banging him in, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's not starting, is he, for Plymouth?
No, he's not starting.
So why?
Super sub.
Yeah. I don't know whether there's an issue with his attitude. I don't really know what the story is with him, but he's obviously gone for a reason.
Bring back little Matt. Yeah, Matt's
Rotherham was
contacted
the
us.
last time we saw him.
Unfortunately, Matt goes in the north and we go in the south, so we don't come across him very often. But yeah, we like a lot more little Matt. We may do something with little Matt later because he's just fabulous.
He's a ledge, isn't he?
We haven't had him on since Rotherham, have we?
No,
I think
we haven't.
it was a dark day, that Rotherham.
Yeah. And he called it Grayson out, didn't he?
Yeah, hashtag Grayson out. He was, yeah, and he was right. He's right about everything. Honestly, he is Nostradamus. His little Matt.
Yeah, he is actually. Yeah.
So we agree with you, Jacob, on that one. More little Matt for sure.
All right, we're coming up to full time, I think.
Yeah, a prolific goal hanger. So funny. A prolific goal.
That funny? It's what we need. I don't know, it's not very specific, but
I think she means a fox in the box. Is what she's saying.
Like a Scott Taylor.
Somebody who pounces on them balls in the box that just seem to go nowhere when we put them in.
Stephen Dobby.
Dobby was amazing. Yeah, Stephen Dobby, one of them kind of players, absolutely.
Is Jane from Blackpool? Yes, I am.
Yeah, she's from Blackpool, yeah.
Yes, I am.
Although she's lived in the Midlands for 20 odd years.
21 years back.
She's back.
So, yeah.
She's back. Blackpool brought her back. Simon Sadler brought her back.
Yeah. You might have had a hand in it as well.
Yeah, Lee Charles TV brought her back. I think the cameras on the way game at Blackpool Road, much appreciated. I take it, Chris, you are a Tranmere fan, is that right? Probably.
Do you remember the old characters from the 80s days around the South? Graham and the jock guy selling tickets. I remember Graham Berry. Yeah, he was. Oh, yeah, he was. He was. Star, wasn't he? 7 foot
the Scottish
tall.
guy, was he the guy that used to come around the South Stand and giving it loads of? Everybody used to abuse him. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
There was like a young Scots lad who used to walk around selling. He used to get loads of abuse from the South Stand all the time. I remember
the Gazette man.
I remember.
The Evening Gazette man.
I remember the guy with the big radio. You remember him with the beard?
Yeah,
the guy. He used to work on Black Tats or something. He used to talk to him, and he used to know about. He'd be like talking about AFC File or something when they were in like divisions below, and he'd be saying, "Oh, that certain striker used to play for some other non-league team." You think, how does he know all this stuff? He used to know everything about every football team there was.
Oh, let's check on the full times.
Marlon Harewood. Well, I actually liked Marlon Harewood. I can't believe, looking back on the season DVD for the Premier League, I remember it well. He scored a perfect goal against Everton, which would have won us the game against Everton. He scored a great goal against West Ham that was disallowed for offside, and he wasn't offside. It was somebody on the far side. I thought Marlon Harewood was pretty good actually, and I love the Premier League. I just thought we were really robbed in that season.
We'll get back there, we will.
We will.
Especially if the finances even themselves out.
Yes, curly hair. Yes, he had curly hair, didn't he?
The Scottish guy.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he used to try and sell something from the South Stand. He used to get loads of abuse from all the time, and it kind of built over. It got worse and worse, the abuse he used to get. Where's the Chinese person gone? I don't know. I think they're giving up because we couldn't understand what they were saying. So. Stood in the corner. No, I remember him. Yeah, he used to get dogs abused, didn't he? I think that's about it, folks. I don't think we've solved the problem of coronavirus.
We got off topic a little bit there.
We've had to talk about something because we've had no football game today, so I'm sure you're all the same.
Great interacting with you all.
Yes, it's been fantastic. We had to do something, so we thought of this. So leave a like if you want to do more of these chats on a Saturday while the football's on. Just let us know if you've enjoyed this.
The football's not on.
Well, the football's not on. Do you want more of these live interactions? Have you enjoyed it? Obviously.
Yeah, it's been. I've enjoyed it. It's been good fun.
Yeah, nice.
Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I hope we've kept you amused for a couple of hours in the warm for a change.
Yeah.
So.
Hell yeah from Crepser Plays. Yes, okay. So if a lot of you give it a like, we'll do some more of these. Cause it's nice to chat to you guys, and you can tell us about you. We can ask us questions
and
as well.
Tell your friends and them involved. Maybe bring them along next week as well, and we can be back off for a beer now.
Have we made you have to have a beer, David? Is it after talking to us for an hour and 45 minutes? You need a beer? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think he's asking if we're off for a beer.
Oh, we off for a beer now? Question mark.
Self-isolation. isolation now.
No, we're going to go. We might go and get something to eat. Next Saturday we can make it a regular thing at,
for
at
sure.
3.
We haven't got anything else
No,
planned.
we've
have
no
we?
football, so
Can't go anywhere.
no.
Yeah. So yeah, but if there's anything,
I mean, let us know if this is a good time for you as well. 3 o'clock, obviously,
and if there's anything in particular you want us to talk about, any subjects. Are we? What happened there?
You're live. Oh, sorry, we've just come back. We went for a minute. If there's any topics that you'd like to talk about, post them in the comments below, because this video will obviously be on, and you can post in the comments below and let us know of any topics you'd like to talk about, or if you just enjoy, having a chat with us about everything about Blackpool and nothing about Preston.
And we'll get the retro shirts on the
Yes, we've done it as the same length of the match. That was the idea. We're coming up to.
We're in injury time.
We're in injury
we're
time.
doing a goal now, aren't we?
We'll do a late goal.
Yeah. Oh well, let's just see how Filed finished up. They're
Curtis Jones from Liverpool. Yeah. Now he would be great. Yeah.
In injury time at Filed, they're still 1-0 up.
Filed are 1-0 up.
And Chasetown are 2-0 down in injury time. So they can pull that one back now, which is a shame. If they're attendance 348 at Chasetown today, so that's a massive crowd for them. So that's nice.
EFL is our new enemy of all the life in the Football League. Yeah, the EFL have been absolutely garbage, haven't they? You can't defend the EFL on anything, to be honest. They're not fit for purpose. We've known that as fans for years and years with our struggles with the Oystons, and it was just a waste of time.
Well, they're just there to administrate the league, I think, aren't they? And not it's the clubs are in charge of their own destinies. Really, it's just the league are there to put on the league competition, and
no late
I don't think they really have any.
No late goals from Nick Muller. Sorry, Nick. Sorry about that, but we did go a bit mad. We did go mental on that. It was a great goal. Ednam's really enjoyed this live chat. Looking forward to the next one. Great.
Well, what's next week then?
We've called it LCTV at 3 o'clock, at 3 p.m. at 3. So hopefully we'll be back here. Well, we should be back here next Saturday. We may even do a midweeker while we're all bored. We may even do a Tuesday night. We were talking about Tuesday night.
All bored.
Oh, we are, but we know football, have we? So we've got to do something to amuse ourselves.
And to amuse you.
Yeah, and also to amuse you, because we're all twiddling our thumbs because we know football to watch. So it's great talking to you all. We've really enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it too, and we'll see you all in the next one. Just very quickly, let's get some thoughts on Sean Dyche. He's done an amazing job at Burnley. I'm surprised he hasn't been poached. He's just incredible.
I just always think he sounds like he needs to clear his throat. It really hurts my ears listening to him, actually. He's been there a long time, hasn't he?
Mundo Productions is going to the gig tonight. Wasn't sure about going, but thinking after tonight everything will be on lockdown, so might as well. Missing football so much though. Yeah, we're all missing.
Oh yeah, could have gone to see the Hot Pots play at Bury tonight. Actually,
it's coming to the Blackpool versus Doncaster match at the end of the season. I know, and you're all coming in fancy dress as well.
We're looking forward to that. Yeah,
we are a bit sick about that one because we knew that was going to be great.
Yeah, maybe we could do our LCTV at 3 for the Doncaster game in fancy dress ourselves, and we could all wear fancy dress.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If the game's not on, we'll be in fancy dress for the. But we need to get that. We need how many subs do we need for that? If we're going to dress in fancy dress to Doncaster.
Oh gosh, 2,000.
We need to get to 2,000. If you get us to 2,000 subs, we will do Doncaster in fancy dress. That's the thing for you. 2,000 subs by Doncaster, we will be in fancy dress.
Right. On that note, before we promise anything else.
Yes, it should have been Bolton to go, but Berry should have stayed out.
Sean Dyche's voice. I think he's had the coronavirus some years now.
Filed have won.
Yay.
Great. Okay, that's great news for Filed. Yeah.
I just wonder if Sean Dyche, whether he's like that because he's talking after he's been shouting during a match, or whether he sounds like that all the time. Maybe he's just a very shouty person.
I think he sort of sounds like that. I've heard him interviewed midweek, and he's always got.
But it's not even like a sexy, croaky voice, is it? It's just like God's sake, clear your throat, man.
Yeah, no, it's really bad. Right, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Thanks for all you guys that subscribe. Obviously, it really helps, and we will see you either next Saturday, or if we can think of something to chat about on Tuesday night, we may well do another live stream for you. So, thanks a lot. We'll catch you guys later. Thank you.
See ya. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.